Hello, good evening. Fiery exchanges over immigration and the NHS dominated during a live showdown of the Welsh political party leaders in the Senedd last night. The leaders of Reform UK in Wales and the Welsh Conservatives were accused of stoking fear over immigration, whilst the Welsh Labour leader faced uncomfortable questions on her record over waiting lists and spending decisions. Hamish Ausgerry was watching the debate.
Welcome back to Wales Decides, the debate.
We've had the manifesto launches and the campaign speeches, but elections are often defined by moments like these. Live from Cardiff Bay, this was the first time the leaders of the 6 largest parties have gone head-to-head in a TV debate. And health featured prominently, with Reform UK Wales and the Welsh Conservatives outlining what they would cut to fund the NHS.
Close those mini embassies around the world, stop spending money on Amazonian canoes, solar-powered canoes, and stop planting trees in Uganda so that we can invest in our public services here. And if I may say so, the only jobs that have been created by Labour, Plaid and the Liberal Democrats are these extra politicians in Cardiff Bay. I think that's unacceptable.
And we've identified up to £40 million that you could save relatively quickly by shutting down those overseas offices, the vanity projects abroad, and also reforming how we spend money on agency nurses. So in total, you could save £40 million there relatively quickly to divert to the front line.
That wouldn't pay for the NHS for half a day.
I wouldn't scoff at £40 million. People are fed up of their money being sent abroad. They'd rather it be spent on Welsh nurses and Welsh hospital beds.
Alina Morgan, quickly answer that, but I do want to focus on that.
0.001% of the entire Welsh budget goes on
needs to be spent in Wales.
We spend more than 50% of the budget on health, and we're unapologetic about that.
Plaid Cymru's Rhynab Iorwerth said he would put the health service on a sustainable footing.
We need that injection, which Plaid Cymru would put in first in the first year, but we need that sustainability.
How much are you going to put in?
Over 100 million in the first year. Additionally, that has all been accounted.
Oh, has it now?
All has been accounted.
On top of the 400 million for childcare.
Through independent assessment that says that this is deliverable.
400 million extra next year to pay for everything. You've spent that several times over.
I'm sorry, but nobody believes Labour anymore.
All right, okay.
Tensions in the room rose yet further over the nation of sanctuary policy, which is the responsibility of the Welsh Government, unlike wider immigration policy, which is reserved to Westminster.
6.9%, let me finish, 6.9% according to the Office of Immigration are born outside of the UK, and your party is stoking division, you are stoking hatred, you are stoking fear in those people, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
All we're saying is this is the problem with the immigration debate, Adrian. We want to have a very, very sensible, rational debate about immigration. And we know it's low in Wales at the moment, and we want to keep it that way.
The Wales Green Party's Anthony Slaughter took aim at 2 of his fellow leaders over their rhetoric on immigration.
Immigration is a high on the list of concerns. People are talking about it. And the reason they are is because your 2 parties keep stoking hatred and division by exaggerating it. You're taking people's anger and despair, anger that they have every right to feel at the situation, and you're directing it at other people, some of the most vulnerable people on this planet.
And then, after nearly 2 hours of live debate, it was over. With a new voting system and changed constituency boundaries this year, there is much uncertainty over what happens after May the 7th.
It's all still to play for, I think, in terms of those margins over whether this is a great night for one party or the other, or whether it's a less successful one. And then the arithmetic is all thrown up into the air when we talk about where deals could be done, because it remains unlikely that one party will get over that magical 49 figure, because the system wasn't designed for that.
Debates are a chance to see what the largest parties are offering and give an insight into who can stand working with each other. But what colours will characterise the next Senedd? That's still up to you at the ballot box.
Elsewhere this evening, a court has heard allegations that a gang of men raped children in Rhyl. 5 people on trial in Caernarfon deny being part of the group involved with child trafficking and sexual exploitation, operating between 2022 and 2024. Joanne Gallagher was in court today and has sent us this update.
The prosecution's case that the 3 girls who were aged 16 and under were the sexual playthings of these 4 men who lived in Rhyl. They were vulnerable teenagers who were plied with drugs and then sexually abused. Today here at Carnarvon Crown Court has been the opening of the prosecution's case. And the prosecuting barrister Owen Edwards, KC, spoke about the defendant named Mustafa Iqbal, and he signalled that he was the ringleader of this alleged grooming gang. He originally got to know Girl B and Girl C, and he then passed them around his friends. They were predators, the prosecution claim, who boasted about their time with the girls. Now, alarm bells were first raised when child B went to London in April 2022. She went with Jaswinder Singh, and the 65-year-old told her to say that she was 22 and his carer if his sister were to ask. Now, he put this forward because he was concerned his sister would believe he was part of an Asian grooming gang. A friend became alarmed about what she saw during that trip to London, and she told her mum. Police were alerted, but no charges were brought against the gang, and the alleged abuse continued until 2024. Mustafa Iqbal, Mohammed Arshad, Suala Badshah and Jaswinder Singh deny the multiple charges against them. A woman from Flintshire is also in the dock here at Carnarvon Crown Court. Sarah Gray allegedly allowed her house to be used for the sexual exploitation of a child. She denies the allegations against her, and the trial here at Carnarvon Crown Court continues. It's expected to last up to 2 months.
Joanne Gallagher there. Prospective paramedic students in Wales have been told today that the course they were due to start in September has been scrapped. It comes after this year's cohort of graduates have been told there are currently no jobs for them. Well, our health reporter Katie Fenton is in the studio with me now. Katie, what more do we know?
Well, John, this was a joint decision made by Health Education Improvement Wales, which is run by the Welsh Government, itself and the Welsh Ambulance Service, and affects students in Wrexham and Swansea, where paramedic science is offered. They say it's about matching places to demand. Essentially, they don't expect to need as many paramedics in future. Student numbers for this year were set way back in 2022 when post-pandemic demand was a lot higher, but changes to the service, better staff retention and wider financial pressures mean fewer roles are now available. Earlier this month, this year's graduates were told they won't have jobs to go into in Wales and to look elsewhere, even abroad, for work. So some people will be sitting at home and listening to this and thinking, well, when I ring 999, I'm told it's going to be an 8 or 9 hour wait. Surely they need more paramedics and not fewer. But the service would argue the issue isn't about staff numbers, but about pressure across the whole NHS, preventing existing paramedics from doing their jobs properly.
And what's the response been?
Well, students who were due to start in September are obviously feeling in limbo. We understand they're being told to look at other courses or universities, but many have already rejected offers from elsewhere. Plaid Cymru, the Welsh Conservatives, Reform UK, the Welsh Liberal Democrats and the Wales Green Party have all previously criticised the decision to freeze recruitment. And while the Welsh Labour government has previously raised concerns about losing publicly funded paramedics, it has ultimately backed this decision, which many say is short-sighted.
Katie Fenton, thank you very much indeed. Still to come tonight, Charlie will be looking ahead to the week's weather.
After a pretty decent start to the day, it was just a case of waiting and watching cloud develop and fill in across the whole of the country. So join me later in the programme to find out how much more sunshine we may or may not see this week.
And I'm surrounded by lots of excited young dancers who didn't miss a beat in Blackpool. Let's come back a little later on to find out more.
But before that, housing will be high on the agenda for the next Welsh Government, as incoming ministers will try to tackle a shortage in social housing, high mortgage rates, as well as rising costs for private renters. One area that's seen a stark increase in recent years is the number of people relying on emergency temporary accommodation, housed in hotels or bed and breakfasts, sometimes for years at a time. Our correspondent Carol Green has been to meet one woman who was placed in a hotel after her relationship broke down, but is now rebuilding her life.
21-year-old Shayna is settling into her new home. She says she now has the space to cook, to breathe and be normal after spending months in hotel emergency accommodation.
I cried most of the nights, and it was either that or I try and get out of being in the B&B so I wouldn't have to be there. And I felt like it makes you feel like you've got no fight left in you.
The number of people in temporary accommodation in Wales is rising. At the time of the last Senedd election in 2021, there were over 6,300 people living in temporary accommodation, mainly in hotels and bed and breakfasts. 5 years on, and that number has leapt to 10,000, including 1,500 families with children. But the vast majority of people in temporary accommodation are single men. Shayna says getting the right support at the right time is a lifesaver.
I'm grateful I got put in one for my welfare and for like somewhere to live, but I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
On housing, the 6 larger parties have made these pledges. Plaid Cymru says it will legislate for a right to adequate housing, whilst ensuring housing costs better reflect local incomes. Reform UK says it will prioritise veterans for social housing and overturn environmental regulations. Labour promises to build 100,000 homes over the next 10 years, including 40,000 social homes for rent. The Welsh Conservatives pledged to scrap the land transaction tax on primary homes and restore the right to buy in Wales. The Welsh Liberal Democrats promised 30,000 social homes, prioritising brownfield sites, and the Wales Green Party pledges a fairer rental market, with increases only allowed where landlords make improvements. Housing campaigners say for decades we haven't built enough social homes, whilst housing benefit hasn't kept pace with rent rises. So private rentals have become unaffordable.
We'd like to see the Welsh Government invest in over 60,000 homes over the next 10 years. We'd also like to see them increase funding for homelessness and housing support services, which are absolutely vital to help people to stay in their homes.
Budgets are under pressure though. There won't be any more money necessarily. How do you square that?
Well, for me, having a safe place to call home is the foundation for all other aspects of your life, whether that be good health, whether that be the ability to engage in education or employment. So actually investment in housing and support means savings in the long term.
Good boy. Back in Colwyn Bay, Shayna is now able to look to the future with hope.
I feel like I've had a weight lifted off my shoulders. I feel like I can breathe again and I can be an adult. I know that sounds daft, but when you're in there, you feel like a child all over again because you've got limited space. You can't feel like you can be an adult to your full potential. So I'm very grateful for the life that I've got.
But thousands more are still waiting for a stable roof over their heads. Carol Green, ITV News.
Well, that election is just over a fortnight away, and if you want to have your say, the deadline to register to vote is tonight. Polling day is on Thursday the 7th of May. If you want to vote by post, you must register by 5 p.m. tomorrow. And a reminder now of how you can get more election analysis as well as updates on all the big stories in Wales in our weekly newsletter. Here are the details. Just scan the QR code on your screen now, where you can sign up on Substack. You only have to do it once, and after that, we'll automatically email you our weekly newsletter, where you can get more analysis and insight from our reporters on the biggest stories around Wales. It's completely free to sign up, and you can read it on your phone and tablet too. Just scan the QR code to sign up, or if you're already on Substack, just search ITV Wales. Dead easy. To sport now, and it's back to the Championship for Cardiff City after a convincing win against Reading at the weekend. The Bluebirds beat the home side 3-1, but had their promotion sealed when Exeter City equalised in their game against Stockport. Well, this season has been a world away from last season's, which saw a string of disappointing results end in relegation. Matt is outside the Cardiff City Stadium for us tonight. Matt, many happy Bluebird fans this weekend.
Yes, John, as you mentioned there, it's about a year ago that I was in this very car park on the day that Cardiff City got relegated, and that day fans were angry. They were furious at what had become of their football club. But after that result against Reading sealed promotion on the weekend, that day here feels like a lifetime ago. The Bluebirds are bouncing back. 12 months ago, these fans were dealing with the devastation of relegation. But on Saturday, that was a distant memory, as Cardiff City cemented their return to the Championship.
There's so many ups and downs in football, especially playing and managing, so to have a moment like today, I guess to see this club and the size of it and the passion for the club from the supporters and the players connected is a very special feeling.
These were the goals that were cheered on by the fans as Cardiff secured a 3-1 victory over Reading. But the decisive goal was scored over 150 miles away in Exeter. This stoppage time equaliser from goalkeeper Jack Bycroft held Stockport to a draw, meaning that they could no longer catch Cardiff.
Fantastic. We have waited 3 or 4 years to have a really good season. It's been enjoyable, the football's been good, the goals have been going in, we've been winning games, and we haven't been doing that for years. So initial reactions are great, and it's nice to be talking about something positive about the club right now.
Fans are now hoping that the club will capitalise on this feel-good factor heading into the summer. And the big question now is about just how much owner Vincent Tan is willing to invest to give them a fighting chance next season.
Is he going to invest, number one, or is he going to sell? And I think it's now, I think if he sells, it's the right time to sell. He's finished on a high if he sells, but he can't stay still. And that's my big worry, that he's going to stay still and that he will look to get success next year on a shoestring, which you might get lucky in the League One, you're not going to get lucky in the Championship.
But those conversations can wait for another day. Cardiff City's players and fans have endured a torrid few years, and this is a moment to savour. Well, of course, the financial benefits of promotion back to the Championship are relatively obvious. The sponsorship deals become more lucrative, as do things like hospitality packages, but salaries will go up of the players and there will probably be some bonuses to be paid as well. Now, last year Cardiff learnt a harsh lesson that no club is too big to go down, and this playing squad will need some investment. So fans are now looking out for signs from the club's owner Vincent Tan for what his intentions are for this club moving forward. And before I go, there is some more good news for the club yesterday. The women's team here at Cardiff City came from 3-0 down to beat Swansea City on penalties in the Welsh Cup final. So a great weekend for Cardiff City Football Club.
Indeed, Matt Southcombe, thanks very much indeed. And it was more success for Cardiff, this time in ice hockey. Yesterday, the Cardiff Devils beat the Sheffield Steelers 5-2 in the Motorpoint Arena to claim their first playoff title since the 2021-2022 season. The win makes them the Elite League playoff champions. You're watching Wales at 6, a reminder of our top story. Fiery exchanges over immigration and the Welsh NHS dominated during a showdown of the Welsh political leaders of the 6 biggest parties in the Senedd. You can catch up on the full debate on ITVX and YouTube, and still to come on the ITV News.
Coming up on the programme, the Prime Minister fights for his survival as he updates the Commons over the Peter Mandelson vetting scandal. The decline of public toilets across England that's leaving many with nowhere to go. And the zoologist and author Desmond Morris has died at the age of 98. Well, do join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
Celebrations are underway tonight at a dance school in Pontypridd after they've come home successful following the British Formation Championships in Blackpool. The team won 6 out of 7 categories, and with more, Katia Fowler joins us live from there. Katia, it seems they're still revelling in the success.
They are, but I mean, if you look behind me, they've clearly already had quite a lot of success. This trophy cabinet is incredibly impressive, but they're going to be adding to that after a very successful weekend in Blackpool, where all of these children you see were dancing Latin American. But to tell me a little bit more about it, I'm joined by Joanne. Joanne, you just must be over the moon about this.
Oh, absolutely. The children have worked so hard, and they're an incredible bunch of children, and we've had a phenomenal year again. I mean, we've been doing this 20 years, and yet again we've won another 6 titles.
It's just, I mean, how much practice and rehearsal goes into this? There's got to be so much dedication from these children.
Yes, they practice a couple of times a week. They also come to other classes. They start from just a social class once a week, then they audition then for these formation teams, and we train them a couple of times a week to take them to this prestigious Open British Championships, where they come away with a trophy.
It's incredible, and 6 out of 7, you can't complain about that, can you?
No, you absolutely can't, you can't, you know.
Well, let's go and talk to some of those that were involved on stage, and thank you very much. Oh my goodness, have you all come down from the excitement yet? It must have been incredible to be on a stage like that. What was it like?
It was just like a big atmosphere because there's loads of people around you and people cheering you on. Like when you're dancing, you just feel so excited, the adrenaline just rushes through you so much, honestly.
I bet. And now you two, you're only 9 years old. Was it not a bit daunting being on a big stage like that? Yeah, it was. A little bit nervous. Yes. How did you feel?
I didn't feel that nervous because all my friends were there to cheer me on, and yeah, I just felt so amazing on the floor.
Wow. And you were saying when we were talking earlier, one of your favourite bits about dancing is the social side of it. There were so many children there, you must have just had the best time.
Yeah, it's amazing being in Blackpool with everyone else because you can hang out with so much of your friends and make so many new friends at the same time from different dance schools.
What was the best bit about it?
Probably coming third with my 8-couple team, which is 16 people, because our aim was to get top 3 in Blackpool and we achieved it.
Wow, well, congratulations to all of you. I mean, look, I will let the dancing speak for itself. You wouldn't want to see me dancing, I'll tell you that much. But all of these children are just absolutely phenomenal. So it's no wonder they really did Wales proud.
Oh, they certainly did. Just look at that trophy cabinet. Katia, thanks very much indeed. Brilliant. Well, after a lovely weekend, can we expect any more sunshine in the coming week? Here's Charlie Powell with all you need to know for the next few days. Don't go anywhere.
Today's forecast, blue skies, followed by a spread of hot and cold plates. TUI sponsors ITV Cymru Wales weather.
Hello. Decent weather to come as we head through this week. For the vast majority, there'll be a lot of dry skies, some nice sunshine, some pretty strong sunshine too. There's UV levels creeping up. Might turn a little bit breeze as we head through the middle part of the week, and the reason behind that is because although we have high pressure close by, to the north of the UK we end up with an easterly flow, the wind direction that is, and it butts up against this area of low pressure. And these fronts get a little close as we head through the latter stages of Wednesday, and that just bunches up those isobars a little bit more, giving us some slightly stronger winds. But for the rest of this evening out there, again, it looks pretty fine. Still single for a few showers across parts of Anglesey, maybe North Wales, but really hit and miss ones. Otherwise, dry skies, clear skies as well, and light winds. So temperatures will drop back down close to freezing, and there'll be some rural frost in a few places. But it's another pretty chilly night ahead. So cold starts on Tuesday, of course, but another dry day with a lot of sunshine to come and probably a little bit less cloud than today, or at least less cloud sort of filling in as the day wears on, but a bit more of a breeze, that northeasterly breeze just starting to gradually freshen, but we'll still see highs of 14 to 15 degrees. I think in that sunshine it'll feel okay, but that breeze will just pick up a little bit more as we work our way through the middle part of the week, just while the proximity between high and low pressure maintains. But in essence, as we head through towards the weekend, that low pressure pulls away and the high pressure remains the dominant force. So we'll hold on some pretty decent weather, but also the winds will ease down a little bit as we head through towards the weekend. So you might just notice a little bit more of a breeze as we head through Wednesday. Otherwise, pretty fine skies. Weather-wise, it looks okay with some sunshine coming through. And actually, may find temperatures just pick up a little bit into the high teens, maybe.
TUI sponsors ITV Cymru Wales weather.
Not looking too bad, is it? That's all for this evening. Thanks very much for watching. I'll be back with the late update. That's after the ITV News at 10. For now, though, from all of us, have a great evening.